What is going on, my viewers? It's your fedora wearing wishing man, and today I'm just gonna be talking about, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, like everyone else. Enough said. Let's get into the video. Alright, first off, let me get this straight. I'm a tiny fish. I have only my own opinion on it. Maybe it will be wrong. Maybe it is right. Maybe you disagree with it. Maybe you agree with it. Maybe you think I'm talking out of my hat. That is your opinion. Alright? Good. Glad we could have this conversation. Now, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, they're coming out in less than a month. Actually, they're coming out in less than a few weeks, if my math is correct. That's not a lot of time. So, pretty much, they are done with the game. They are pretty much wrapped up. The only thing they probably be working on is like some final polishes or whatever it is. Either way, what we see basically from the trailers is pretty much de facto going to be what we see in the game. And considering this is Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the famous Sinnoh remakes that everyone was talking about and having all these hypes and dreams for. Really, what else did you people expect? I'm just going to reiterate what I said in a previous video. What were you expecting them to do? Go all out? No, this is Pokemon Company. This is Game Freak. It may not be Game Freak developing this game, but you know what? They're not going to make any big waves trying to quote-unquote remake something that everyone is going to love. Or has loved in the past. No, they're not going to do that. And while it's obvious that the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl games are, getting closer and closer to release, and above all, they look more and more, perhaps not like Platinum, but more like Diamond and Pearl with Platinum elements. They are taking, shall we say, I don't like some of the decisions that they are making for the game. For example, some of the big fish, some of the big names, some of the big Pokemon tubers, etc. that were able to review the copies of Let's Go Eevee Pikachu, of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they've confirmed a few things for us, and my information is just coming from them, so according to them, we are going to have the same experience share that we've all thoroughly enjoyed since Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu and Sword and Shield. So, we can't turn it off. And that's something I don't like. I really don't like that experience share is going to be on all the time, and I have no way to turn it off. Not because, it makes it easier for me, but I want that difficulty. I don't like it when they're trying to hand feed me, easy experience, etc. I want to earn my position, like say in the in Championship League or whatever. At least when it comes to the normal gameplay, I want to be able to work toward my goal. And I just don't feel that when it comes to, the experience share. Like in the past games, I do not remember once ever needing to use experience share. Actually, no, I think that is actually a lie. There was 2 occasions where I think I did have the experience share item, and I actually needed to use it. And I think it was just because for a very tough boss, where I actually needed the experience share. Like, I think during my Emerald run, I think it was during my Emerald run, where before I battled Steven, where I took on the Elite Four and my team did not have enough levels to take on the Elite Four. And that's when I realized, wow, I actually need to train. And I actually use the experience share for all of my Pokemon. Like, I would switch it from one Pokemon to the next, helping them level up as fast as possible. But that was like the only time I ever needed the experience share. Until that time, I basically did what all trainers should be doing, and that was training their Pokemon. You know, swapping them out, letting different team members have a chance to shine. You know, letting them level up, letting them gain experience, battling some wild Pokemon. Sometimes it was a bit of a grind, but you know what? That's what I did. And the only time I actually needed that experience share boost was like just at the end. And I just basically don't like that they're forcing us into using experience share all the time. Like, I know there are some people who are saying, you know, what is the big deal with having experience share on all the time? It makes it easier. It makes leveling Pokemon up faster and better. And I'm like, yes, but what is wrong with having the option to turn it off? Is there any negative backsides, any negative downsides, is what I'm saying, to having the option to turn it off? Like, say, what if I want to challenge myself? What if I want to go through Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and grind my way to the end? What if I want to have a slog, alright? What if I want to be totally underleveled for some, if not all, of my gym battles, and then still find a way to come out on top, despite all those odds against me, with my Pokemon being underleveled, perhaps undertrained, etc., still being able to become the champion despite all those odds? What is wrong with having that as an option, is all I'm saying. But you know what? Some people want it, some people don't want it. I'm in the group that does not like the option of, or does not like having no option to turn off experience share. But I digress. Let's move on from the experience share. Another thing we have learned is that Pokemon contests do return, as we've learned. You know, just from the trailers alone. But they're not going to be the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you know, contests. So I don't know how those are going to be. I forget how they're going to be, but I really wish they had stuck with the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire contest format. And especially if they had made it for multiplayer. Like, that would have been really cool. If you could have contests against your, like, say, I'm a streamer, and what if I want to have a contest night? You know, what if I want to challenge all my viewers to see who can have the most fabulous looking Pokemon? Let's all have a beauty contest. Someone brings in Milotic, someone brings in Gardevoir, someone else brings in, I don't know, brings in a Swanna, and then you have little Timmy over here with his Magikarp. That actually sounds really funny, by the way. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be as challenging as I would have liked. Because Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire contest could be very tricky. Like, those NPCs had Pokemon and moves that really were tough to get around. And they just had strategies that really messed me up sometimes. Like, I believe one person like had a Gyarados or something for the beauty contest, and he would end his turn on Hyper Beam. Like, he would go first. Like, if he went first, he would go for Hyper Beam, and that would scare all the Pokemon into not being able to attack that, or being able to move that turn. And while he wouldn't be able to move the next turn, because it was like the last turn of the thing, last turn of the contest, it didn't matter. He shut all the other contestants out for the rest of that turn. And that is why I hated fighting that Gyarados for the beauty contest, I believe. Because it was just so annoying and frustrating, and I really had to plan out my moves way ahead of time to be able to counter that strategy, to be able to ensure that even in the worst case scenario, if I had enough points, if he did that, I would still have a good enough lead where he wouldn't just, shut down my chances of being number one in the contest. And that's all I can really say when it comes to the contest. I just wish they had kept the format of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire for contest. But, you know what? We haven't seen... the games aren't out yet, so... Maybe I'll like the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl format. Who knows? Now, another thing I want to talk about is the difficulty in Pokemon games. Pokemon games are not difficult. Like, I will be 100% honest with you. To someone brand new to the franchise, they might have a little slow difficulty at first, but eventually they'll reach a point where they will not have much to any difficulty when it comes to completing the game. Like, especially looking at Sword and Shield, for example. Because of the way they have it set up, you could have a level 100 Pokemon before you've even reached the very first gym. And not only will that level 100 Pokemon, be 100% loyal to you, 100% will listen to your every command, etc. Won't think it's too strong to be properly controlled by you. But it will have zero difficulty for the rest of the game. It can do it can take on any challenge and basically just steamroll through the rest of the game just by itself. And that, I think, was the one major flaw when it came to Pokemon games. Because I forget when they implemented that change, but I distinctly remember a lot of my Pokemon games where if I did not have the required badges for a certain level, my Pokemon, if they were too high a level, would not listen to me. Didn't matter if I owned them previously or not. If they were too strong for me, they would not listen to me. Like, I think one of my favorite memories came from my red and blue days. This was Kid Reshiram, when Reshiram wasn't wearing a fedora on his head. He was wearing a propeller hat beanie. There we go. And I think I was using a Charizard. Yeah, I remember now. I was using a Charizard. I was training up real high. I was training up my Charizard's level to be really high. And I think I got it to level 50 because it was my favorite Pokemon back in the day. Like, I was only like 10 years old, so it was my favorite Pokemon. It was a fire-breathing lizard. What's cooler than that? Gotta think that's what my thought process was back in the day. And I did not have the required number of gym badges. So I think I only had the first 4 gym badges. And it only let me have control of a Pokemon up to level 50. And then I pushed it over the threshold and Charizard became level 51. And that was when he stopped listening to me. That was when he would, spend a turn loafing around. He would ignore my orders. He would look away, pretend not to care. Or he would sleep. And like only 1 in every 10 attacks would he actually, attack. Would he actually listen to me? And I think he was just doing that because, fine, I'll do it with this one time. But that was making me think, oh, wait a moment. I can't use a single Pokemon, because if he becomes too strong for me and he won't listen to me, then I won't be able to beat the gyms. I won't be able to beat the gym leaders because I'll only have one Pokemon who can actually fight, and he's not listening to me. And that forced me to actually invest into my other team members, because until then, the second highest level Pokemon I had, I think, was like a gift Lapras or something. It was like only level 25 or something. But until then, I'd been using Charizard the entire time. Like, I was just spamming Charizard, Charmander, Charmeleon the entire game. And it was only until that threshold where my Pokemon's level exceeded the gym badges the level the gym badges permitted me, that I actually had to invest time and training into my other team members, so that if one Pokemon couldn't get the job done for me, there was another that could help pick up the slack. And that is another thing that I wish they would go back to, because if you can have a level 100 Pokemon right off the bat, before you even got into the first gym, and you suffer no repercussions for overtraining it, over-leveling it, then what's to stop you from just doing that over and over again? What's to stop you from getting a full team of 6 level 100 Pokemon before you even got into the first gym? Like, there was nothing stopping you from doing that. Like, sure, they tried to implement, like, a restriction, like, you can't, like, the levels of the Dynamax Den Pokemon you yourself can find will only match the levels of, like, what's available to you from the gyms. But if you can go online, you can join your friends. Like, trust me, there is nothing stopping you from doing that. Then all you have to do is just survive, and some of these Dynamax Den Pokemon are not that difficult to take down. Like, you only need to defeat a certain Pokemon, and you can get all the Dynamax candies you want. Like, I think there's like people who are like people spam Chansey dens, etc., Blissey dens, and they just farm the candies all day. And that helps people who otherwise would not be able to get to that level 100. They can get to that level 100 cap very easily. And that is one thing I wish they would do, is I wish they would implement like a difficulty setting, or just make the games just a little bit more difficult. If not for new people, then for veterans. Because after 20 years, I already know grass types beat water types, waters beat fire, fires beat grass. I don't need to know that. I already know I push the super effective button and I win the battle. Like 99% of the time. But the one thing I personally wish, and the one thing I hope they implement, is an improvement to the battle system when it comes to the gym leaders. Like, the standard trainers, they can stay the same. But like when it comes to the gym leaders, I hope that they make it so that they're a little bit more difficult. Like, they don't have to be too difficult. They don't have to implement some crazy gimmick or something. But like, say, let's just take the let's just throw in a pretend grass gym leader. Like, the first gym leader, it can be a standard, you know what, it's just your standard monotype grass gym leader. Second gym leader, it can be similar. We'll just use Sword and Shield's gym leaders format. First 3 gym leaders can be the same. They can stay the same. However, when you get to the 4th gym leader, which I believe is either the fighting or ghost type gym leader, depending on which version you have, the 4th gym leader could have a special, like something where instead of it just being a pure mono ghost type team, they're also holding items. So like say the first one has a focus sash, the second one's holding a life orb, and the third one's holding a weakness policy or something, because it's going to be like the Dynamax or the G-Max. Then the next gym leader could have something like where their Pokemon have their hidden abilities turned on. So like that's what I'm suggesting. Maybe the next one, something similar. Hidden abilities turned on and a weather effect is in play. Last one has a combination of, different types of Pokemon, like last gym leader, different types of Pokemon. The weather is turned on, their Pokemon have hidden abilities, and they're all carrying special items. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like, give me a reason to think in some of these battles. Like, if I already know ahead of time that the gym leader is going to be a grass-type gym leader, then the only thing I need to concern myself is which of my Pokemon can use a fire-type, an ice-type, or a poison-type move. And that's it. That is the most thought process I put into a gym leader. But if suddenly they come out and they have items, what if they have different move sets than what I'm used to seeing? Maybe one of their grass types, instead of using the stock poison, grass, or bug type moves that most grass types or most grass poison types might be using, what if they have what if they can learn like a ground type move, maybe a rock type move, maybe even they have even a flying type move, for example. Maybe they have a dark type priority move like Sucker Punch. That's what I'm talking about. Make them have some slight advantage that I'm not aware of that causes me to suddenly think and use more of my brain and not just rely on a single Pokemon to win the entire battle. But that's all. That's everything I've said here. That's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. I hope that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are awesome. They're looking awesome. I just hope that it's not going to be too easy. I don't want another Let's Go Eevee Pikachu game. Alright? That's all I want. Don't give me another easy let's stroll through the region and everything looks great. I don't want another tour guide like in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Alright? Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon felt more like a tour than an actual adventure. Same thing with Sword and Shield. I don't want to go in a straight line. Alright, if I wanted to go in a straight line, I think I could play one of the Final Fantasy games where it's just a bunch of corridors and hallways. But what about your thoughts? What do you picture when you see Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl launching in November? What do you hope for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl now that we're super close? And what do you think of this small YouTuber's opinions? Comment down below. I'll see you all next time. Till then, take care of yourselves. Peace out.